Hi everyone, this is Danish Kumar and I welcome you all to this show, Mind and Body, Heart and Soul. So let's get started with understanding what are the basic components of our body. So number 1, carbohydrates. Number 2, protein. Number 3, fat. Number 4, micronutrients. And number 5 is water. So these are 5 basic components of our body. So we will talk about in detail that how our body is made up of these 5 components, and all your answers of the questions related to the body will be discussed in this video. So let us understand, starting with carbohydrate, right? So carbohydrate we can get from the very uh, you know common things like sugar and vegetables, fruits, and such kinds of sweet things that we consume, right? So carbohydrates are basically utilized for our energy needs. So the carbohydrates provides us energy to work, to function our body easily. So how much energy 1 gram of carbohydrate gives us? It gives us about 4 kilocalories per gram. So let us move to the next component, that is protein. Proteins are basically building blocks of our body. Building blocks means our body is made up of those small units called proteins, right? So muscles and all those kinds of our cell organelles, and our body is made up of basically proteins. So what are these things? Proteins are basically subunits, are made up of small amino acids, forms when amino acids, I will not go in detail, but little small amino acids come forms different kinds of proteins. So these proteins functions or helps us in various things. Proteins helps basically enzymes and all other components, also proteins. So basically body functions help in the body functions like digestion and other processes. So not only are building blocks but also in various functions in the body, they play a key role, right? So let's move to the another component called fat. So fats provides us basically cushioning or protection to our body, and fat is this secondary energy source. First of all, when our body requires energy, it consumes carbohydrate. So when there is carbohydrate uh, shortage, then only these fat utilized for the units energy purposes, right? So when the people don't exercise and they just relax and eat, so they get obese due to the fat deposition. And why fat is deposited? Because carbohydrate is not getting utilized. So carbohydrate is not being utilized, that's why this fat is also not being utilized, because it is the secondary source of energy. So how much energy 1 gram of fat gives us? So it is about 9 kilocalories of 1 gram fat gives us, right? So fat, or these kinds of lipids we call them. So these are of basically 4 or 5 many types, but I will talk about only 4 types. So first of all, high density lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein, very low density lipoprotein, and then cholesterol, right? Also triglycerides are also there. So there are some good cholesterol or good good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So basically we talk about the good lipids or fat. So very high density lipoprotein and low density lipoprotein, these are sometimes called as the good cholesterol. And low density lipoprotein, very low density lipoprotein, triglycerides and cholesterol. These are called bad cholesterol, right? So let's move to the another part. So we have just covered protein, carbohydrates and fat. Now we'll talk about the micronutrients. So micronutrients micronutrients are basically those elements or the products we require them in a trace amount, very small or very little amount. So that's why they are called as micronutrient. So micro example I will talk about in detail, but examples: vitamins and minerals. Example of vitamin for vitamins are basically of further classified as two types: fat soluble vitamin and water soluble vitamin. So fat soluble vitamins are example are vitamin A, D, E, K. These are fat soluble vitamins. And water soluble, B complex is an example. Vitamin B complex, B1, B2, B3 and B6 and B12. These are main B complex vitamins. So B1 is thiamine, B2 riboflavin, B3 is niacin, B6 pyridoxine, and then B12 is methylcobalamin or mecobalamin, right? So these are the examples of vitamins. And examples of mineral is calcium and iron. These are some minerals which we consume in very small amount, right? So we will also talk about other minerals like phosphorus, manganese and other zinc. So these are also utilized for our various body functions or needs. So so these are the basically five component, not we have covered only four, right? So last but not least, very important component is water, very essential. So our body requires adequate quantity of water. Everyday need of water is depends according to our body conditions and weather conditions as well, right? So if there are winter, so we will consume less water, and if there are summer, so we will consume lots of water, right? So depends, water requirement depends accordingly according to the environment, right? So we have talked about these five components. Let's try to correlate all those components, and let's understand how they affect our body, right? So for example, if a person wants to reduce their weight, so what could they do? They should consume less carbohydrate. Why? But they will feel, definitely they are going to feel very low in energy. So but that is definitely going to reduce their fat, definitely. Why? Because if they will reduce their carbohydrate in their diet, so what would happen? If there is there is less amount of carbohydrate in the body, so our body will take energy from the fat, right? So our body's fat would get utilized for the energy needs, right? So the weight of that particular person will start decreasing. So small changes in the diet can uh, also makes different or creates an impact or major impact, right? So now if some person wants to gain the weight, right, increase their body weight. For example, gym, when people go to gym, they want to put up weight, they want to increase the weight. So they consume lots of protein. So is protein enough to increase our body weight? No, only protein would not increase your weight. So you will have to take uh, carbohydrate as well, right? Carbohydrate and fat, these all things. So they can increase the carbohydrate because they are exercising, uh, they are basically doing heavy exercises which consumes lots of energy. they burn energy, lots of energy, right? So they will need uh, lots of carbohydrates, right? Then carbohydrate would get utilized. They have to preserve their fat because they want to, increase their, you know uh, weight. So fat should be there, but protein also should be there, right? So if they will consume energy from only carbohydrate, then only they can preserve their protein and fat, right? So if carbohydrate would not present in the body will take energy from the protein as well as from the fat, right? So protein also gives us energy equivalent to the carbohydrate, 4 kilocalories, right? So we have understood that carbohydrate is essential in increasing the weight, also in decreasing the weight. If you want to increase the weight, increase your carbohydrate. If you want to decrease your weight, just decrease the carbohydrate. This is the one factor we can understand, right? Also, let us talk about protein little bit. So protein is not just a single type of protein. There are lots of proteins which are essential for our body. So different protein is made up of basically different types of amino acids, different sequences of and different types of amino acids forms a different chain or different structure that forms the different proteins, right? So these some are essential for our building blocks and some for other functions. So we could take some essential amino acids and as well as non-essential. So we'll have to understand about all those. We will talk about in the upcoming videos details about the types of amino acids, right? So for today's session, I think uh, I should leave up to you. So you guys, if you have any questions or queries, you can comment and ask me questions. So thank you so much. Have a great day.